Smackdown GM Paige has probably been one of the most well-booked and consistent characters in WWE in 2018. Her character integrity was maintained throughout, and she wasn't ever portrayed to be someone who will be undermined by the wrestlers under her command. She took the role in the post-WrestleMania Smackdown and has been a constant presence of television, keeping fans invested in Smackdown booking. Her usage was perfect in the sense that she didn't overstay her welcome on weekly TV, and that she didn't unnecessarily try and shoehorn herself into big angles and storylines, completely unlike what has been happening on Raw and what Shane McMahon has been doing on Smackdown. But if WWE are trying to do away with authority figures, what do you do with her now? This is Wrestling Hub, and we will be talking about the 5 things WWE can do with Paige. Paige was a general manager of a show before this, which means that she had the responsibility to run an entire program from start to finish. Considering she did that wheel, we have always arrived at the consensus that she has a great in-ring presence. Whether or not she was wrestling, it would be a great move for WWE to move her onto an on-screen role such as a manager of a wrestler or stable. She used to be the mouthpiece for Absolution. If WWE really want to make a women's tag team division heading into Mania, why not pair Paige with Absolution again and make them a relevant threat with Paige leading them? We can see that Asuka isn't necessarily too proficient on the mic. Why not make her a silent killer while Paige does all the talking? There are endless such possibilities for someone with the oratory skills that Paige possesses. Most commentators in modern wrestling are former wrestlers themselves. Current NXT commentator Nigel McGuinness used to be a wrestler. Corey Graves, Byron Saxton, they all used to be wrestlers. Former commentators like JBL, Jerry Lawler, Taz, and so many more were all accomplished wrestlers. If former wrestlers can be used as commentators so easily, why not incorporate the talented Paige into that role now that she is available to do so? SmackDown, unlike Raw, still doesn't have a female presence on the commentary booth. Some people are under the impression that Renee Young might be flailing under the overproduced Raw, but SmackDown isn't even half as produced as Raw, so Paige might thrive on that brand, or NXT UK might just be a great home for her. Most wrestlers can transition from wrestling and become ambassadors for the company. WWE is a corporate juggernaut, and they have one of the most active public relations department in the world. They try and do good deed after good deed to attempt to shatter the stereotypes about the dangers of wrestling, and these wrestlers are usually the ones that go out and publicly support the company. Paige may have that role next. Considering how she can be used as an example of how WWE protect their wrestlers from further injury, considering she was made to retire at the age of 25 because she could have been paralyzed. Along with that, we can see examples of wrestlers like Titus O'Neil who don't do weekly television, but continues to be active as an ambassador for the company. Paige can also be a mental health and body positivity activist, considering how she's spoken out candidly about her struggles with these issues. Even though it was tempting to list being a producer as an option, being a trainer seems like it would be a better fit for Paige. Many former wrestlers have come back to the WWE and become trainers at the Performance Center. Wrestlers such as Albert and Shawn Michaels are two of the biggest examples of retired stars who have transitioned into roles as trainers. Paige may just be 26 right now, but she has been wrestling for almost 13 years. Considering how early she was taught how to wrestle, she most definitely has some insight to share. Paige is one of the first people to successfully navigate the modern system of WWE developmental and come up to the main roster and have a great career there as well. She would be a great presence for the younger stars because she can personally attest how the company works and explaining the keys to success while making the jump from developmental to the main roster. Harkening back to the 13-year experience she has in the industry, she probably has a lot of insight and stories to give the younger talent. The previous GM of Smackdown was Daniel Bryan, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, who was made to shift to an on-screen, non-wrestling capacity because of how his neck injuries and concussion issues piled up. Today, he is back as a wrestler and taking German suplexes and styles clashes despite his injury troubles. All the things mentioned on the list were done by Daniel Bryan in some way, apart from managing another wrestler. Maybe Paige follows in Bryan's footsteps and makes an unlikely comeback to wrestling. The full details of how badly Paige was hurt is unclear, apart from knowing that she had back and spine issues. That definitely cuts a lot of careers short, but it doesn't necessarily mean the end. Wrestlers such as Edge, Stone Cold, and Lita have all faced injuries like that but continue to wrestle with protection put in place for them. Maybe the same can be done for Paige, and she can adapt her style of wrestling to a safer one and come back to the ring. But what do you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. And these are 5 things WWE can do with Paige. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and I'll see you later with more videos.